Namaste. Good morning, Utsoda. We are live. We are on Hindu Lounge number 33. And I welcome you and I welcome all our viewers. And it is, it is as exciting as it is every Sunday. So, Utsoda, I want to first welcome you and just introduce you, and then first and tell our viewers why we are a little delayed in coming in this time. So first of all, I am Ajay Shah. I am the Executive Vice President of World Hindu Council of America, or VHPA, and with me, as always, is Utsav Chakrabarti. Utsada is the Executive Director of Hindu Pact, and Hindu Pact is the policy research and advocacy initiative of World Hindu Council of America. This program, Hindu Lounge, comes live every week at 11 o'clock Eastern, and we are live on all the streaming services, major ones at least, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter Periscope. Utsoda, welcome. And I just want to say apologies to our viewers that we were a little late in coming in today because we had a major program that was going on and it ran over a little bit, and that was on Kashmir. And as you know, today is the World Human Right. This week was the International Human Rights Day, and what better way to talk about international human rights than to start out by talking about the pain and suffering of 350,000, 400,000 Hindus in just recent years who have been displaced from Kashmir, not to talk about thousands of, hundreds of thousands or maybe millions who were persecuted in Kashmir through the history. So with that, Utsada, before we go into I give you an opportunity to introduce everyone. I just want to say that today's topic is on International Human Rights Day, and 70 years of it actually. And we'll talk about what is going on in the right area of human rights. With that, Utsada, welcome. I know that today you also are somewhat short on time because you have another International Human Rights Day event planned. So I'll give you an opportunity to just get rolling.
Well, namaste, everybody. And today I will be dropping off in the next 10 minutes or so. So we will be just having an initial conversation on some of the burning issues. And after that, I'll have to go to an event on the International Human Rights Day. It is very important, especially for people from the Indian subcontinent. We have gone through a lot in the past 70 years, actually in the past 700 years to be more precise, but so we will be talking about it, and I will be seeing you only for the first 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Utsada. Utsada, because you're going to be here for a limited period of time, I hope you can make it about 20 minutes and stay till 11:40 because this couple of issues are really, really important. But I want you to first, really start with the event that you're going to go to. And I don't know if you want to share the slides or you want me to share the slides. And
you can go ahead and share the slides, Ajay bhai. I updated it, so it should be
okay. All right, let me go ahead and share the slides. And this is a really important event. So let me. While I'm sharing the slide, I want to welcome our viewers to join us and call us the same numbers as previous weeks, and I'll be posting those numbers. So I am trying to see where you posted your new slide.
That's it.
This is the one, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Please talk about the event you're going to.
So I was invited by mostly by the members of the minority community from Bangladesh, as well as a couple of other folks who are in this DC area from minority community members from Pakistan and also people from Afghanistan, who are organizing a protest in front of the Embassy of Pakistan at 1 p.m. Eastern time today. So those of you who are in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, it's going to be socially distanced. So bring your mask, stay 6 foot away from other people, and express yourself. So this is in solidarity with the people of Bangladesh who went through a lot when they were part of Pakistan, and suffered 3 million deaths in form of a genocide. So I think it is very important that Indians and people of Indian origin, as well as Hindus who are born in America, we recognize the tragedies that the people in Pakistan are going through, their minorities, and the threats that that people face in that region from that regime. So we are joining at 1 p.m. and see you all. If you are in this area, just pick up your car and come in and spend an hour with us.
So that do you plan to do you plan to talk about the Hindus in Bangladesh specifically? Because I see some names. They seem like people who are from Bangladesh. And while you're at it, would you like to, for this audience, would you like to highlight some of the, uh, some of the highlights of the situation and the conditions of Hindus in Bangladesh?
Yeah. As you know, I mean, like Hindus in Bangladesh face, not just in Bangladesh, but more importantly in Pakistan. Because today, I want to mention what they face in Pakistan primarily, and Bangladesh is an extension of that, because the radical Islamist elements who operate freely in Pakistan, in fact, who are patronized in Pakistan, are also present in Bangladesh. And they are also working on the same agendas, and the minorities face the same threat. And some of the people who will be there at the protest are people who have personally suffered, uh, and they're facing a lot of personal tragedies in their life, and they want to bring it out.
So that we'll do a separate show one of these days on the condition of Hindus in Bangladesh. But I think most of the Hindus are a little bit dumbfounded, right? Because they think that, hey, look, India played this pivotal role in the independence of Bangladesh. Why would so Bangladesh should be one of the most hospitable, countries for Hindus, because after all, so many Hindu lives were sacrificed to get independence for Bangladesh. So. Um, why is this not the case?
Well, there is geopolitics, and then there is a religious extremism. Despite Bangladesh being a Muslim majority country that came into existence with the support of India, who helped drive out Pakistan from Bangladesh, uh, on the request of the people of Bangladesh. At the end of the day, there is still a very, very big chunk of radicalized Islamic population in Bangladesh, many of whom actually supported the Pakistani army, and they were instrumental in killing, you know, nearly 3 million people, out of which about 90 to 95% of them were Hindus. Despite Hindus being only 20% of the population in Bangladesh in those days, around that number, they were the biggest victims. And in fact, if you go to the Facebook page of this group that we shared, South Asian Minorities Collective, you will see videos of the Pakistani army shooting people in the middle of the street. So if you look at if you go to the Facebook page of South Asian Minorities Collective, it's under the title Minorities South. That's the Facebook page link. You will see that there are videos, and these people post videos of what happened. So it's important for our Hindu kids, Hindu youth in America, to know where they come from. This didn't happen that long ago. This happened during their parents' generation. That's not even 50 years. So this is, we all understand and we all empathize with the genocide of the Jewish community in Germany. This is not too far from that. This is not too far from what happened to the Armenian community. 3 million, 2.8 million Hindus killed just in the last 50 years, in a period of 1 year. So,
And where is Amnesty International? Where is Human Rights Watch?
so this is the thing. These, if we do not speak about these issues, if we do not talk about the situation and the sufferings, uh, I don't think anybody else cares. I mean, the reason people speak about the Holocaust in Germany, the reason people speak about the genocide of the Armenians by the Turkish Islamists, is because they themselves speak about it. They themselves know what it means to be the victims. If we Hindus don't speak about the genocides that we have faced, we will not hear anybody else talk about it. That's as simple as that. And especially as a community which has a lot of voice. I mean, for whatever's sake. If we have top people in the administration, we have people in the House, we have people in the Congress who claim to be Hindus, but they don't care about these issues. They don't talk about it because we don't talk about it.
So that you bring up a really, really good point. And I know I'm jumping the topics here, but I want to ask you, because this last week, the Alameda County, which is one of the counties in the San Francisco Bay Area, passed a proclamation against, against the CAA, the Constitutional Amendment Act, and the National Registry of Citizenship, in NCR in India. And that was, it's a proclamation. It's not a resolution. So proclamations are like, low-hanging fruits. You can just, anyone can request the proclamation to be passed, and this proclamation got passed, and nobody even knew that this proclamation was on the docket, and it got passed. And once again, the Hindu leaders and the Hindu community, they were caught napping. I mean, while Hindus were doing, the virtual gatherings like this, and we considered ourselves to be partially to blame, because we are doing a lot of webinars and educational series, and we are, as World Hindu Council of America, as our sister organizations, as other Hindu advocacy groups, we are all engaged in this online education and online religious activities and other things. And behind our backs, in the places where Hindus far outweigh any other religious minority, these anti-Hindu, Hindu-phobic, Hindu-hating resolutions are getting passed one after the other. San Francisco got passed without anyone knowing, and this is a proclamation that got passed. And Alameda County, if you go there, so that I know you're familiar with it, I'm very intimately familiar with it. I live right next door to it. This, vast majority of the Bay Area Hindu population, or vast numbers, if not majority, vast numbers of Hindu diaspora lives in Alameda County, and without without any inkling of this is going to happen, this just got passed.
Correct.
And so the apathy extends beyond just beyond the Indian subcontinent. It extends right in our own backyard, right?
Absolutely. So the thing is that, at the end of the day, we are responsible for our housekeeping, and we are responsible for, it's like running a family. We are a 1.5 billion strong family, and if we do not keep our yard clean, we do not, to put it simply, we have to be taking care of ourselves and our interests, and making sure that we, just like running a family. So what happened in Alameda County is a very good example of how, the apathy, the lack of awareness, lack of desire to act. We wait until the water reaches the top of our nose, and then we run like, for lack of a better word, headless chickens. So we have to come together. We have to organize ourselves. We have to put money where the mouth is. That is the most critical part. It's not like we don't have money. Our community takes pride in being upwardly mobile in America, as a new immigrant community who loves to send their kids to Ivy League schools. So that's very wonderful, but that's not going to keep us alive and safe, as these genocides in the Indian subcontinent shows. And I'm always a very strong proponent of the narrative that history keeps repeating itself. Only the technology changes, and that's actually even scarier. So we gotta shape up, and we gotta put our money where our mouth is. Ajay bhai, I think it's 8. It's in the Pacific Coast, it's 8:30. Here it's 11:35 almost, and I gotta head out. I have to go to the event, and have to pick up a couple of people. So I will. Our viewers have to excuse me. I really have to leave soon. Hello. I think I lost the stream with Ajay bhai, and I think he is. His screen seems to be frozen right now, so I'm wondering what's going on. Okay, I think we have lost Ajay bhai, and I guess I'm going to wait for him to come back, and we will carry on. But I'm going to drop off after Ajay Bhai is back. He is almost here. He's almost here. He's connecting back. Ajay Bhai, do you hear me? I'm still waiting for him to connect back. So I just got a message from Ajay Bhai. I think he's disconnected because his computer crashed, and I'm trying to see how soon he can connect back, because I'll have to drop off soon. So I guess this is not the first time we have lost Ajay Bhai. He's back. He's back. And
okay, so please give your opinion on this one issue, and then on Senator Brownback, and then we can let you go.
Ajay Bhai, I have to head out. I really have to leave.
All right.
You carry on with Brownback issue, and I think all I can say about Brownback post that you are going to talk about is that it's a very, very welcome move by probably one of the senior most officials dealing with foreign policy and State Department in America, after Pompeo, obviously, Ambassador Brownback. And Ajay Bhai is going to show you the screen. I think we should all support him and congratulate him as Hindu community members for the stand he has taken and the honest position that he has taken. So Ajay Bhai is going to talk about Ambassador Brownback's position, and I'm going to head out.
All right, Utsada, thank you.
Signing off.
So, let's talk a little bit about Senator Brownback, right? So, Senator Brownback is ambassador at large for the religious freedom-related issues, and Ambassador Brownback was also part of the USCIRF, and he was one of the senators who actually voted against India being placed in the worst of the worst religious freedom offenders list, which is called the country of particular concerns list. And here's what Ambassador Brownback tweeted, right? He said that Hindus and Christian women from poor and marginalized communities in Pakistan are vulnerable to traffickers falsely promising marriage to wealthy Chinese men. Once married in China, these women are often isolated, neglected, abused, and at times sold as prostitutes. Now, this is what Senator Brownback quoted, and just so that here are the this is not something new to Hindus who have been forcibly, and Christians in Pakistan, who are forcibly abducted and married off, converted and married off, and they cannot. There was an incident 2 weeks ago where a 13-year-old girl from her home was abducted and married off to converted and married off to a 40-year-old person, and this was a Christian girl, and this is happening to Hindus, all over Pakistan. And the Senator Brownback had actually issued a press release when detailing some of these incidences, and he had said how these girls are basically treated as concubines in China. And this is the same country that and this is, you can see this on the screen, where there's a question answer with Senator or Ambassador Brownback, where they talk about where he goes into quite a bit of detail as to how the minority community is treated in Pakistan. This is not to talk about the death related to, if anyone can be accused, anyone can accuse anyone in Pakistan about of blasphemy, and once they're accused of blasphemy, their lives are in danger. They of course they get they get arrested right away. They got put in jail. They are put to death. They're given a death sentence, and they even if they're not given a even before the death sentence is given, someone enters a courtroom and just you know assassinates or murders a person who's accused of just merely accused of of blasphemy. So this is the condition of minorities in Pakistan today, and this is the country which accuses India or accuses Hindus largely of practicing religious intolerance. Why is that? Because Hindus are asleep in their own in their own homes, and they're not even realizing the kind of movement that is taking shape in America against Hindus. That is why San Francisco passes a resolution accusing Hindus of bigotry. That is why the county of Alameda passes a proclamation accusing Hindus of bigotry. That is why St. Paul and Seattle and all the other seven cities in all now in America that have passed these kinds of resolutions. And Hindu response has been fragmented, has been non-uniform, and it shows that Hindus are just not ready to take on these kinds of issues. So this is something that we will, as a Hindu community, will have to take on and really counter. I want to move on to some of the other issues here, and related to human rights violation. And let me point to our audience to another, some of the other things that happened this week, right, for the Hindus in America. Yesterday, in Washington D.C., there was a protest march by the people who are supporting, or rather, who are opposing the Indian government, new law related to the farm policy. Now, you may sit and wonder that what does the farm policy have to do with, what does farm policy in India, purely internal Indian economic issue, have to do with have anything to do rather with in America, and why would people in America be so engaged in the farm policy related issues in India? Well, it turns out that what we talked about in previous months, right? We talked about this gang, the Tukre gang, the people who want to break up India, people who want to make sure that India as a country does not exist, and Hindus, and we are interested in it because as Americans, we are Americans, but India is our dharma bhumi, and in our dharma bhumi, these forces want to break our dharma bhumi up. And in order to break them up, they find every single fault line, every single issue. They try to internationalize it, and they launch protests internationally about on these issues. So here is what happened. They took out a protest march yesterday. The protest march was then taken over by the people, a very small minority of Sikhs who actually believe in Khalistan and all that. That's not a vast majority. The referendum that they wanted in 2020 never even took off. So it's a very, very tiny minority that wants Khalistan, but they're a very vocal minority. And they actually launched a protest march. In that protest march, they marched in front of the Indian embassy, and when they marched in front of the Indian embassy, right across from the Indian embassy in Washington D.C., they have the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, and this is what happened to the statue of Mahatma Gandhi. So let me show you what happened to statue of Mahatma Gandhi, and you can judge for yourself. This statue was then desecrated. So here is the video of the desecration of the statue. You can see it as a Khalistani. It was defaced. There was a Khalistani flag put on it, and here is the ANI video that's showing. And there were a lot of slogans raised, and all of that. Now, on this week of International Human Rights Day, we are talking about desecration of a statue of Mahatma Gandhi, one of the biggest proponents of human rights in the 20th century. In fact, a proponent of human rights to a fault, he endured himself suffering, and his community endured suffering for the positions that he took as a proponent of human rights. And these are the people who go and deface and desecrate the statue of Mahatma Gandhi on the week where the world, or rather in the week when the world is celebrating the International Human Rights Day, in the week where we should be thanking Mahatma Gandhi for inspiring Nelson Mandela, in the week where we should be thanking and expressing our gratitude to Mahatma Gandhi for inspiring Reverend Martin Luther King. It is in that week that we see the desecration of the statue of Mahatma Gandhi by people who were who were protesting a law in India, farmers' law in India, and demanding for Khalistan. And what is more ironic? What is more ironic is that this is the same week. Okay, this is really the same week where in Pakistan the statue of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And let me share my screen with you so that you get the idea of what I'm talking about. This is the same week where the statue of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, a ruler of Punjab, a Sikh ruler of Punjab, were desecrated. Okay, so here is the statue of Maharaja Ranjit Singh in Pakistan that was desecrated. It's a 9 foot statue, 9 feet tall statue. It was unveiled in Lahore Fort in 2019 and was to commemorate the legacy of 180th anniversary of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Now, Maharaja Ranjit Singh was Sikh. He ruled most of the Punjab that we know, we knew before the independence. He ruled parts of Afghanistan up to Kabul, and a great king. He fought British. In fact, British could never take his territory till he was alive. He was a freedom fighter in that respect. And finally, Pakistan recognized him as someone whose capital was in Lahore, and they put up a statue. Now, Pakistan put up the statue because it plays into the larger narrative that Pakistan is trying to build as to how hospitable they are to the Sikhs, and they want to create this illusion that the Sikhs and Muslim unity is something that will win Khalistan for this tiny minority of Sikhs who want it, and making them and try to whitewash the history where the Sikhs were massacred along with the other Hindus in Pakistan, millions of them, during 1947 partition. Okay, so they want to whitewash this atrocities that the Pakistanis had committed against the Sikhs, and they want to build a narrative that they are the saviors of Sikhs, and they start out with building a statue, and in 2 years, second time, the statue is desecrated. They open up the Kartarpur corridor, and within months, they take on the management of that, the Gurudwara, without any Sikh representation. And these are the same people, the Pakistanis, who then go and fund the Khalistani movement. And the Khalistani movement goes and, at their instruction, desecrates the statue of Mahatma Gandhi without holding the people who desecrated the statue of Maharaja Ranjit Singh accountable. I think it's about time that Khalistanis, or a proponent of those who are advocating for Khalistan, a small fraction of Sikhs, a very small fraction, wake up and say, do these people who are pouring millions and millions of dollars into the so-called Khalistani movement sponsored by ISI, do they really have the interests of Sikhs in mind? Or are they just doing what they've done for centuries, which is divide and rule the dharmic forces? That is really a question that needs to be asked and needs to be answered. Okay. So once again, if you are trying to dial in, this is a live show, and we want to say hello to all those who are joined in. Our numbers for dialing in are posted on all the social media. We welcome your calls. Utsada, as you know, had to go for the for a protest event in Washington D.C., so he left a little early, and we definitely welcome your participation. You can dial in. The number is 301 301 715 8592. 301 715 8592. And there's a meeting ID, which is 851 4918 8316, and the password is 132069. Once again, the meeting ID is 851. If you're using Zoom, this is a Zoom meeting ID, 851 4918 8316, and the password is 132069. And I absolutely welcome your participation. We are talking about the International Human Rights Day on Hindu Lounge, and Hindu Lounge is a project of a program of Hindu Pact, which is an initiative of World Hindu Council of America. And once again, here is the statue of Maharaja Ranjit Singh that was desecrated this week, on the week where the world is celebrating the International Human Rights Week. And here is the desecration of the statue of Mahatma Gandhi in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Okay, let me, as I said, we always welcome your participation, but let me move on to a couple of other quick issues. I want to talk a little bit about the Hindu Seva Act of the Week. And this time, the Hindu Seva Act of the Week is actually us, Hindu Pact. So Hindu Pact, as you know, is a new initiative. We are around for only about 7 months now. And Hindu Pact is celebrating its first fundraising gala. And we are now really, really proud to announce that we have lined up a great speaker panel and the keynote speaker. As you can see on the screen, we have been really fortunate to have Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, for a Democrat from Hawaii, as the keynote speaker for the Hindu Pact Gala. Now, Hindu Pact, as you all know, is is very active in the public arena. So the theme for this gala is towards a strong American Hindu voice in the public square, and we want to further this voice and build a strong grassroots advocacy movement. So we are so thankful that Congresswoman Gabbard has accepted to be the keynote speaker in this gala. This event is taking place on Saturday, December 19th, that is next Saturday, from 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, Tulsi Gabbard as the keynote speaker, Preeti Upala, who is a well-known media personality. She has been a Hollywood entrepreneur, political commentator, investment banker in the past. She has graciously agreed to be the host of the event. And we are thankful to Preeti as well for hosting the event and being a commentator on this event. So once again, Preeti Upala will be hosting the event, and our own Rakhi Israni, who is the Hindu Pact Executive Director for Legal, has agreed to be the panel moderator. So we have a strong contingent of leaders of the event and panelists. I cannot thank the panelists enough. Rick Mehta. Now, Rick Mehta was the first Hindu slash Indian American who won the primary, the Republican primary for the New Jersey Senate seat, and fought the election against Cory Booker, a Democrat from New Jersey, and actually got close to 40% votes. Strong leader, and he will be, we are so glad that he has agreed to be on the panel, eminently qualified to be on the panel. And we are really thankful to him for being part of the panel. Vindhya Adapa, who is a lawyer who has worked in advocacy in multiple organizations. She right now works in the Treasury Department. She also, incidentally, she is also a singer in Bollywood. Her first single came out just recently, and she has agreed to be a panelist as well. A very strong voice, someone we have heard in Threads 2019 conference, and we were so impressed with her. We invited her, and she graciously accepted. Dr. Raj Vedam, most people who are probably listening to this show know of him. Dr. Vedam is a professor and academician, but also and he and also a strong advocate of how Hindus are represented in academics, in public arena, and how it plays into advocacy. Uh, Dr. Vedam was one of the keynote speakers at the Reflections at 50 conference that we had just a couple of months ago. And we had so much positive feedback on him that we had to bring him back. And we are really delighted that Professor Vedam, Dr. Raj Vedam, has agreed to be on the panel. And last but not least, Pandit Roopnath Sharma. Now, Pandit Roopnath Sharma is a Hindu advocate based in Canada. And Canada and America and USA share a lot of common issues when it comes to Hindu advocacy. And we thought that we should not limit ourselves just to US. We want to learn from Hindu advocacy movements that are going on across the world. And so we requested Pandit Roopnath Sharma to be part of the panel, and he graciously agreed. And so that makes up our panel. Once again, the event is on December 19th, which is on Saturday, from 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that would be 5:30 p.m. on the West Coast, in California, for example, or Arizona. This will be, you do need to register for this event, and the registration URL is right on top. It is tinyurl.com/HinduPact 2020. Okay, it's tinyurl.com/HinduPact HinduPactGala 2020. That is the URL for the Hindu Pact Gala. So please do join us, register for the event. We are expecting hundreds of people to register and thousands of people to join the live stream. But registered guests would have the opportunity to ask questions and interact with the panelists. So we would invite everyone to register for the event. Okay, with that, let me move on to the final segment, as we always do on our show, and talk about and generally Utsoda would be the one who would talk about this, but fine, this time it's me. So let me just talk about it. And and that is the Hindu phobe of the week. This is one where we never seem to run out of people to name, and it's always difficult to name one person as Hindu phobe of the week. But so we spend probably more time picking Hindu phobe of the week than we spend time in any of the other preparation that we do for the show, because we need to narrow it down to just one person, and it's always a difficult choice. But this time it was made it somewhat easy by the Hindu phobe of the week, Saif Ali Khan. Okay, now Saif Ali Khan is a big Bollywood star. If you ever read the Indian newspapers, he's on the entertainment pages just about every day, either he or his wife or his kid. They're always on the pages of entertainment media in India. And so why do we call him the Hindu phobe of the week? Well, let me share this with you and have you opine on it. So this is the news item. So Saif Ali Khan is playing Ravan or Lankesh. Lankesh is the ruler of Lanka in a movie called Adi Purush. This is a Hindi movie, and he's playing the role of Ravan. And I have a few quotes from him that you may find interesting. So let me go right to the quote. Here's what he says. Okay, and let me make this a little bigger for people who have challenges in reading. So you can probably not. Okay, so he says it is interesting to play a demon king. Less strictures in that, but will make him humane. Remember, he's talking about Ravan. He was Ravan who had no scruples. He's talking about Ravan who abducted Sita. This is Ravan who tortures Sita, trying to get her to marry him. Saif Ali Khan doesn't care about that. Saif Ali Khan doesn't care about rights of a woman to choose. Saif Ali Khan does not think that a, a woman being kept in captivity in a jungle for a year and made to suffer, instead of punishing that man who abducted her, instead of holding him accountable, he wants to make him humane. Okay, this is Saif Ali Khan. Where do you think Saif Ali Khan gets his inspiration from? What in his life teaches him that? Remember, he is a son of Sharmila Tagore, who was related to Rabindranath Tagore. This is the person who is now out to make Ravan humane, an abductor of a woman, a torturer of a woman. He wants to make her humane. Okay. And then he continues, we will make him humane, up the entertainment quotient, justify his abduction of Sita. He wants to justify the abduction of Sita. How can you justify abduction of woman? What is he going to do next? To spike the Hindus, to offend the Hindus, to offend the tradition from where his mother came, to offend the tradition from where his first and second wife came. He wants to, and forget about the faith, forget about the religion, forget about Hindu. What religion condones, what religion approves of abduction of a woman so that against her wishes, so that a man abductor can marry her? Okay. And then he says, justify his abduction of Sita and the war with Ram as revenge for what was done to his sister Suparnika by Lakshman. Now, Suparnika and Lakshman had a fight because Suparnika was trying to have Lakshman abandon his vows to his wife and to his brother. Okay. And now to use that as a pretext to abduct another woman. is not driven by Saif Ali Khan's entertainment quotient. It is driven by Saif Ali Khan's hatred for Hindus. And I say that because this is the same Saif Ali Khan. If you go down, and this is a great article from Up India, if you go down, it talks about it. This is the same Saif Ali Khan who has multiple times tried to rewrite the history of India. Of India. Saif Ali Khan talks about not just about Ramayana this way. He named his son Taimur after Taimur Lane, right? He is this is the ruler who massacred thousands of Hindus in Delhi, okay, and tried to convert and converted actually tens of thousands of Hindus. And he names his son with pride after this monster. Okay, that is how much he hates Hindus. And he actually says that I'm naming my son as a tribute to this great king. So this person, Saif Ali Khan, is absolutely, against Hindus, right from naming his son to his comments about the movie Tanaji, and down to this particular incident where he talks about justification of abduction of Sita. That Saif Ali Khan, who is a son of Sharmila Tagore, and who is married, whose first and second wife are both, his former wife and current wife are both formerly Hindus, or maybe still are, I don't know. What in his life made him so anti-Hindu that he now thinks that Ravan's act against Sita Mata are justifiable? Now, the backstory on this is, or the follow-on story on this is that it's there was a lot of this news item got a lot of attention, and there were calls even before the movie is made. There were calls of boycotting the movie, and Saif Ali Khan realized that his commercial gains are at risk. So he then came out with an apology, saying that, well, he never meant to insult Sri Ram and all that. But we already got a peek into his thinking. And we also know that for a Bollywood actor, having a major production, major movie fail is, can be really devastating. And so he went out and paid a lip service and went and apologized. So for all the Hindus out there, please be vigilant, please be aware, please be awakened to multiple things that are happening in our backyard and in the Hindu universe overall. Be aware of the resolutions that are being passed, or the proclamations that are being passed by various city councils like Alameda and San Francisco and St. Paul and Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Albany, New York, and all the other places, and St. Paul, all the other places. Be aware of that. Be aware of the big Bollywood stars taking Hindus for granted and really maligning Hindu Dharma every opportunity they get. Be aware of that. Raise your voice. Go to social media. Follow Hindu Pact. Follow VHPA News. Share your experiences with us. Call into this show. Together, we will build a Hindu advocacy movement so that Hindus are not taken for granted, and Hindu Dharma, Hindu traditions, Hindu symbols, Hindu deities are not maligned. We need all of you to join us in the Hindu Pact Gala on December 19th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We have great, as I said earlier, we have great lineup of guests. We are really looking forward to you joining us. And with that, on behalf of Utsav Chakrabarti, who had to leave a little bit early today, this is Ajay Shah. I want to thank everyone who has joined in today. Thank you very much. And we look forward to seeing you in the gala on Saturday and then on Hindu Lounge on Sunday. We come live every week at 11 o'clock Eastern on Hindu Lounge. I am Ajay Shah. I'm the Executive Vice President of World Hindu Council of America, VHPA. And on behalf of my co-host, Utsav Chakrabarti, who's the Executive Director of Hindu Pact, an initiative of World Hindu Council of America. Thank you and namaste.